Okay, we're here in Scheveningen in the Netherlands with our Swiss distributor, Karsten
Hi David.
from Cursief. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. It's great to be here. It's a wonderful surrounding here at the beach. It's a great place to meet, and let's talk about some of our business.
Yeah, how's it going in Switzerland, the business-wise?
Business-wise, Switzerland is interesting because it's a part of Europe not belonging to Europe, you know. So this is a place you're not used to if you're from the States or anywhere else, where there are huge countries with the same language, you know. And in Switzerland they have 4 official languages. So you have all kind of challenges as a distributor, that you have customers speaking French and Italian and English and German and all kind of quite peculiar things. So your websites must be multilingual and all your support must be multilingual. Your invoice system. So it's a nice kind of, but quite a different kind of distributing.
Yeah, and how's the graphic arts industry there? How's it going?
Graphic arts is very powerful. I think there's a lot of shakeout of older kind of systems and thoughts, and people picking up high quality new systems, from printing to working with software, and it's rapidly changing, and Switzerland is picking this up quite quickly. Quality of work is high, it's very high level, and so it's a very interesting market where there's high demand, and people just not buy something because there is a name. They want to see how it works, they want to see if it works. They are willing to invest, but you have to make proof of what you're telling, and if you don't do that, they won't buy. So it's quite an interesting thing. So adding value for the customer frequently is a must.
Right.
In this market, also in the pre-sales, and help people understand the product.
Yeah, I know that Switzerland's always been quite a big market. Speaking in Europe, it's one of the 4th or 5th biggest markets for software sales. A lot of Quark Expresses were sold there back in the day, and now of course we have more and more InDesign users.
InDesign users, and at least in the past it has been the country with the highest Mac rate as well. So that's an enormous amount of people working with Mac.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know the exact numbers now for Europe, but I think there is still a considerable part of the market, the graphic market, is focused on Mac. I even have customers moving from Windows to Mac in the graphic area, so that's quite interesting. And
nice.
Yeah, so. It's okay, yeah.
Okay, well good. And there's a new segue into Marksware, and I know you're working on a new section of your website for Marksware products.
Right.
And I know you've had over the years a shakeout of products, but the Marksware products you still distribute. Can you?
There are a few things why I distribute Marksware products. First of all, they're good. They work. They're very well focused, so that they just have one single point they want to solve. They do it well, which is easy to understand for customers. And I want to have easy products. I want to have products which are good for the customer. So he buys it and immediately has a benefit. Has not a high learning curve, does not have to invest tons of money. It simply does the job.
Yep.
That's very important. It's also Mac focused, so this is quite important for me, as I just explained before. I want to have Mac products, it's important. And for the Windows parts, of course, many people are happy because they work on several platforms, and Marksware offers that as well for many products. So it's an interesting thing, yeah. And we see that the market is changing, we are changing, the kind of customers are changing. So we're simply investing in new platforms to make it more easy and more understandable for customers to get information about the products.
Yeah, great. Yeah, you do a great job. You sell a lot of Q to ID, so thank you very much. And hopefully keep that going. covered the Marksware a bit. Of course, that's our main focus. But I know you do a lot with databases. Can you maybe touch on that for a bit?
Yeah, I think that's quite an important topic. There are a few things linked. People work with documents, and that's one thing. But there will be more going in a direction of a workflow, of standardization, and Marks tools also fit in that process. They want to standardize output, they want to make it secure, and since 20 years I'm working with database solutions as well, so for digital print, and I'm developing databases myself. I think this is going to be a very important part of the graphic industry in the future. So there will be more databases in use, people want to organize themselves, and that's a main issue for myself to focus on in the coming years.
Great. Great. And where can people get more information on Cursief if they want you to distribute the products, or to in Switzerland buy from
So
you?
it's on cursief-software.com, and that's the website. And then there's cursief.com for some other stuff. And many websites, an increasing number of websites.
You love taking pictures too, I notice.
Photography is definitely something I'm heavily involved in, not just selling photos, but also creating photos. So karstendriseo.ch will show you some personal photos. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Karsten.
Okay, thank you so much, David.
Take care.
Okay, bye.
One quick question, Karsten. We'll cut this in here. How long have you been selling Marksware products?
Well, I started selling software in 1994, and I think the second row of products was from Marksware. It must have been somewhere in the 1990s, yeah?
Wow.
Yeah, 1996.
And you started off with Print Shop Mail?
I started off with Print Shop Mail, which at the time was a Dutch product, and had a lot of plugins and other software as well, and now reduced to very few products and make my own database products.
Yeah,
so
cool.
Is,
Oh, thanks,
transition.
Karsten.
Yeah.
Neat.